Welcome to Overwatch Bug Busting Episode 1. This is a new series where I'm going to try and break down certain bugs or specific events that can happen in Overwatch and see if we can find out more about them. So, I was watching some random Overwatch videos, and in one of them, I noticed that two Widowmakers killed each other at exactly the same time. Now, two players killing each other in Overwatch happens all the time, that's nothing special. However, two Hitscan characters killing each other is. You see, in games, there are two types of shooting. Hitscan and projectile. Projectile bullets are physical objects in the world and have size, travel time, and speed. Examples of these are Hanzo's arrows, Pharah's rockets, and Genji's shurikens. Hitscan, on the other hand, has no physical object that represents a bullet. Wherever the crosshair is placed at the time the shoot button is pressed, is where the shot marker will instantly be sent to. If this is on an enemy player and the shot is considered legitimate by the server, then the damage will go through instantly. So it makes sense that if two projectile players, or even one projectile and one hitscan players are fighting in a 1v1, that it is very easily possible that they both kill each other, since projectile bullets take time to reach the target. But what about two hitscan characters, say two Widowmakers? Well, normally whoever would click first would win that duel, but what happens if they click at exactly the same time? Before we tackle that though, we need to talk about netcode and ping. In online games, developers have to account for people playing all around the world, and people being on different connections. It will take a little bit of time for data, such as movement commands or shooting commands, to get to the server. This time is known as ping or latency. Now, because of this, developers are forced to compensate and prepare for people with different amounts of ping. If I shoot at someone on my screen, and it takes 20 milliseconds for that data to be sent to the server, in that 20 milliseconds, the person that I'm shooting at could have moved. So there needs to be some way for the server to know whether the shot is legitimate at the time of shooting. Usually, this is tuned by having a favor the shooter approach. This is when, if on the shooter screen a shot should have landed, then it will normally count as a legitimate hit. Another thing developers usually do is have a set window in which a shot can be counted as legitimate, and this can depend on ping. So, back to Overwatch. What happens if two hitscan players shoot each other at exactly the same time? To test this, we have the power of the workshop to get a shot as close to the same time as physically possible, and, well, the results were interesting, but not for the reasons you may think. I first set it up such that two dummy bots are spawned and aim at each other's head. Then, when I hit the interact key, all the players fire at the same time. After doing this multiple times with dummy bots, the dummy bot on Team 1 seemed to win every single time. This seemed really weird, and I even tried switching teams to see if that may help, but the Team 1 Widowmaker always won. This is a really strange interaction. Could it be that the game favors whoever is on Team 1? No, this wasn't the case, as later testing revealed. When I tried the same test with actual players instead of dummy bots, the two Widowmakers would pretty much always kill each other. This is what I expected to happen, since there is a small window that the server allows shots to register, and if the shots come through in the same frame, or near enough to the same frame, and the shooters have clicked on each other's heads on their respective screens, then both shots go through and they both kill each other. But then what was up with the dummy bots? And Team 1 always winning? Well, as a control, I decided to use the game's inbuilt AI instead of dummy bots, and got the same results with AI McCrees as I did with two actual players. They both killed each other. This means that there's something up with the way dummy bots work. My theory is that dummy bots are created as entities on the server itself, and therefore have virtually 0 milliseconds of ping. This means whenever a command comes through, it is executed immediately instead of being checked against other players. And this means that the forgiving window that players might have does not apply to the bot. This is reinforced by the fact that when I used an AI against the dummy bot would win every single time. So that's hit registration, but what about two abilities landing at the same time? What happens if two Roadhogs hook each other at exactly the same time? Theoretically, if both hooks land at precisely the same frame, then both hooks should break and both hogs should be left with a small stun. What actually happened though was really strange. When testing with two players, it seemed that one player would always win. It seemed like my friend who was helping me test this would win no matter what. We tried changing our map, our skin, our team, our position in the team, our ping, but nothing seemed to change the fact that my friend would always hook before me. This is extremely puzzling, especially as my hook looked like it was hitting. It seemed like the game doesn't have that same window for both abilities to land like it would with Hitscan shots. Why is it that one player was always winning? I have no idea. It could be completely random, it could be an extremely complicated, boring code reason. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. If you have anything you'd like me to investigate, then please leave it in the comments below. I stream every day on Twitch, link is in the description. If you like content like this, then please do consider subscribing as it helps me out a bunch. I've been Taeb, and I'll see you in the next one.